Good morning. Today's Pain Points of Interest, we're talking about social media for small business and how much time one should spend on social media. The world is becoming concerned with how much time we spend personally on electronics, and as a business owner, adding more time to this process may not always be an option. So how do we, as business owners, properly build a brand and not overindulge on social media? Find out how on today's episode of Pain Points of Interest. As we've mentioned earlier this week, one of the most important factors in a business social media strategy is engagement. Engagement on social media consists of likes, reactions, comments, clicks that people perform on your posts. Posts that have a higher amount of likes and comments are generally seen by more people, and therefore it increases your reach of that post.
Yes, and because a post with more engagement can be seen by more people, it tends also to be seen as more relevant. Relevant posts make an account, so the account you post from also becomes more relevant and increases your rankings in the network. If you want to gain a larger potential customer base or audience, then being relevant and liked is extremely important. It's the basis for social media.
Right. There's a lot of social networks, and so a business owner who's doing everything on their own may need a little help with posting and engaging customers. Social media management software like Hootsuite or Zoho Social products allow business owners to schedule posts in advance, which is a big time saver.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that I use pretty heavily for creating a baseline of posts. Now, this is kind of an important concept because you shouldn't rely on a social media management tool alone. It can limit the amount of time you're spending, but you should also be posting your own content in addition to whatever you schedule, and you have to engage with your customers. So when people when people comment, responding to that is extremely important. I personally tend to spend more time on the social networks that are more relevant to me. For me, LinkedIn is where I spend most of my time. I spend about 60% of the time I spend on social media on LinkedIn, and the remaining 40% is divvied up between Facebook and Instagram mostly, with some experimenting in stuff like TikTok.
Yeah, I think for my just past experience, business-wise, I have spent most of my time on Instagram because it is a visual platform for photography. And as a photographer, that's a great little online gallery, basically. So I spend a lot of time on there following other photographers or people in that field and engaging with them, so that way there's a relevance there in the people I follow who follow me. Obviously, I follow individuals and our clients and things like that, but when you kind of cultivate your feed in a certain way, you tend to expand your own relevancy within that subject matter. So like I follow a lot of photographers and a lot of photography related businesses on Instagram, which in turn they follow me back, and there's a lot more back and forth between those businesses. Whereas PaynePoints on LinkedIn is going to follow a lot of other businesses that are small businesses that might need this service, or others who are consultants as well, and you have that networking factor going on there.
Absolutely. On my personal LinkedIn, on the personal side of things, I have a very large audience of IT recruiters because one of the things I do is I interview for jobs. This is something I believe is a practice that should always be done, and so I do it quite often, and I talk to recruiters about what they're looking for within my area of expertise. And so when I make a post, I can almost guarantee that a lot of recruiters see what I do and I have their ears, simply because my level of interaction with them has been higher than with anybody else on the social network.
And whenever I'm on social media, which is a huge tool for almost any small business, I try to limit, 5 minutes at a time and jump on several times a day and just get on and like and comment people's posts, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whichever one I happen to be on at that particular time. I don't think you need to just jump down a rabbit hole and spend an hour or two every time you get on. That's just going to become really inefficient. So I personally have found that just getting on for a few minutes, 5 or 6 times a day, and doing, that engagement back and forth with other people has really been the most beneficial, and then I don't have to spend just hours on social media.
That's right. I agree with that. It's just a few minutes as necessary, and it's very important to break that up for your own health, and so that you have a means to control what you're actually doing on each of those times you get on. Sometimes you have to deal with what's in your network, and sometimes you have to go discover stuff outside your network and interact with that audience in order to grow.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really just based on what you're wanting to get out of it as a whole. Well, we could spend a long time on this particular topic, but we're going to leave it there for today. Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions or comments or anything to contribute to this particular topic, you can find us on all of our social media, which is Facebook and LinkedIn at PaynePoints, Instagram as Payne.points, and on Twitter as PointsPayne. You can also find us on our website, www.PaynePoints.com. Submit any questions or anything you have there. And guys, we'll see you next week with a whole other set of topics. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you then.
Have a great weekend.